Just invite real quick and get the show started. And my notes still haven't came up. It's gonna not gonna let me. There we go.
Yo, what up, man?
What up? Okay. Notes.
I can hear.
Yeah, I was just bringing up my notes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
yes. Okay, cool. I got my notes. I wonder if I can make the font larger. Format, view, fonts. Default font bigger. Cool, I didn't know that. I just learned something, everybody.
Speaking of learning, what's the word of the day, dude?
I don't know. Like I said, I thought I had one, but I was wrong. Like I thought,
I
like
know. I just thought you might have just like remembered just if I asked you, it put you on the spot.
well, no, what happened is like I was listening to a podcast and someone said a word and I was like, I don't know what that is. I'm gonna write that down. And then I wrote it down and I don't know if I just heard it weird, if the guy said it weird, or if autocorrect changed it
Mm-hmm.
to like dramatically. And I'm like, I know what dramatically is. I don't need to
Huh.
write that down as a new word.
Um,
So I don't know.
Word. I realized I don't have mine either. Here, I gotta look it up real quick.
Word.
Word of the day. I was trying to sound smart when I was texting somebody earlier, so I looked up like a thesaurus word because I was gonna use the word majestic. And then I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I wonder what else, like, So I'm thesaurusing majestic right now, and I'm gonna look. I don't know. I'm gonna find something. I kind of wanted something that I don't know already, but I'm not seeing
Right.
anything. I mean, I think majestic in itself is a cool word. I don't think I use enough, because there's some
Mm-hmm.
pretty majestic stuff that happens. Even
Yes.
just like just slight lighting like in the trees or like you'll just see like a little outcrop of mushrooms or something and you're like damn like nature's pretty majestic. I'm going with majestic. I think I know we
All
know
right.
the word but we should use it more often. It's a good word.
Okay. Sounds like a deal. Majestic is a good word.
What you working on?
Um, well, I have so many stickers, so I just figured I'd start doing a handful of doubles
Yep.
just so that I have them. But, yeah, I got a bunch of prints. I got
Oh
a
yeah.
print. I got some prints made of my favorite canvas ever. Um, I'm working on a sketchbook, Rob.
Yeah.
I'm working on a
Ari.
sketchbook.
Call me
R-E.
Ari.
All right. I'm working on a sketchbook I'm putting together myself. Well, the place that does my prints, they can do like sketchbooks. So I went and talked material with them. Oh yeah, I sent you all this information. But I'm doing 100-pound ivory paper.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing 20 sheets of it, and then I'm putting 80-pound black paper in the back, 5.
Uh-huh.
And what I'm gonna do, and then I have like a custom. I did a piece specifically for the cover,
Right.
and my plan. This is my plan: is when I'm gonna get a run of them made, and then I'm gonna do a
Yeah.
sketchbook contest.
What do you mean?
So whoever buys the sketchbook is gonna
Yeah.
automatically go into their name's gonna automatically go into the contest, and then in a year, I think I'm gonna give
Yeah.
a year to fill up the entire sketchbook. Whoever wins or whoever has like You know, I'm gonna have like, I mean, you'll probably be a judge with me or something.
Yeah,
I'll
just
probably have like,
have some judges, right?
yeah, and then whoever's like wins this contest is gonna
Mm-hmm.
get their book, like some prints of their book, like their book published
Mm-hmm.
for the most part. You know what I'm
Cool.
saying? So that they
Yeah.
can, they'll just be like, I think that's just gonna be a fun thing, you know, for people to just like work on quality paper and then push
Mm-hmm.
themselves on only black paper, and then they'll have their book published or printed, you know, and have runs of their book printed. And then second place, I think I'm gonna do just like 10 prints of like their best piece or favorite piece.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm
Cool,
saying?
man.
So, and then yeah, man. So that's pretty much what I have in the works right now. The book should be out and ready to ship after Thanksgiving. So,
Dope.
Darius, what up, brother? You just missed my
So,
sketchbook breakdown.
so
Mm-hmm.
hey, everybody, welcome to the show. I'm still kind of playing with the name. I think we were talking about that, but right now it's called Reaching for Acclaim. I like
Mm-hmm.
reaching for the next level, or just something about pushing each other and everybody to just like to do their best and to be, you know, like their future self. Like, how can we set ourselves up so that, like, is your future self happy with your past self right now? Um, so yeah, this,
Tight.
you know, yeah. Like, I forgot where I read that, but it's like something about like, you know, if you go into the future and you remember looking back in your past, like, are you going to be happy with the choices that you made? You know. So I
Right.
don't know, I
Right.
like the idea of like, you know, always striving for the next level. But I think what we're doing really is striving for the next level. Like, we're trying to get like, okay, I see the next level already, but like, what's past that? How do I visualize that? How do I like get
Right.
myself in this like better than best kind of state of mind, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the
Yeah.
show's about. And I
Yeah.
got a bunch of notes. I know we talked last time about note taking. You got your notes this time?
Yes, I have all my notes that I
Nice.
have so far.
Did you work on any more, or just the ones you had from before?
No, I didn't add any more. I like this list so far, but yeah, I haven't had any other brainstorming dates or anything to add to it. And I know we only touched on a few last time.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be good to just keep going over the same stuff too, because a lot of those principles are like just going to be universal and things we're going to always just talk about, you know?
Mm-hmm. For sure. For
So can I
sure.
start it off though?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I got some stuff. So I thought
Yeah,
this was
definitely.
really interesting because, you know the quote that's like everybody says like when life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the Jack Canfield book, The Success Principles, his mentor, W. Clement Stone, he has a quote in there that's like a really similar, but just I wonder like if W. Clement Stone was the like originator of this because it's a little wordy, but it just says when life hands you a lemon, squeeze it and make lemonade.
Damn.
Um, so, but you know what? I was thinking about that. Okay, so check this out.
Mm-hmm.
Lemonade isn't just lemons, though, right? Like you add, of course, you add water, but you also add sugar. So it's like when life hands you lemons, like that's a bad thing. Make lemonade, you have to have some sugar. And I was thinking, like, if in this analogy, like the sugar, I think, is your attitude. Because it's
Sure.
like, oh, I got these lemons, you know, you think of like a car that's like falling apart, people call it a lemon, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
lemon's obviously a bad thing, but it's like, well, how do you take a lemon and make lemonade? You have to have a positive attitude, you know?
Yeah, that's hella fucking real. I like that. I like that. It's pretty solid.
Um,
I don't know what to add to that. That's how I never really looked at that. So,
no, I mean, it
damn.
just came to me today because I was like doing a little bit of research for the show, and then, but then the next thing, like, because I was going through success principles, and I was taking notes, and I'm like, I wasn't just trying to just say what he said, you know. I'm trying to like, I
Yeah,
mean, for one, like, you know, definitely get some quotes and like some ideas, but then, you know, and then take it my own analogies and stuff like that. So it kind
definitely.
of led into the next thing. So like my idea of like adding sugar is your positive attitude, and then he went into saying something like how you can use like negative experiences for growth,
Right.
and
Absolutely.
like and that like every experience, whether it's bad or good, it has like, okay, so like any opportunity in your life, put already potentially there's good in it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then like, so if something goes wrong with like your idea of how you wanted it to go, then there's a reason for everything.
Hmm.
um so it's like maybe the good in something is it had to go wrong for you to like get this learning lesson of like
Right.
how to, you know, how to like overcome a roadblock or something.
Yes, I can add to that. From two people virtually saying the same thing. So, Tim Ferriss was talking about investing, but even if you lose, I forget the exact way he worded it, but it's virtually like even if you lose, you still gained a lot from it. He was talking about like investing in, $25,000 business, and even if it fails, everything that you not only learned but the like networks and connections you've made can pay that off in the long term. You know,
Right.
um, and then something that Nino says is fail your way to success.
Yeah.
Because obviously your book isn't written. You're writing your own book every day. So um, he's like you have to fail and you have to get up to move forward. So
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, for my like recent personal experience, I was like really banking off this mural I was gonna do, and it was like, you know, I was gonna get a bunch of money for it, and of course, like the notoriety, the acclaim, and
hmm
the just like doing the service for the community. I thought that was gonna be really cool to be like having this big new mural up, you know.
right,
And so like when that fell through and I didn't get the job, like definitely was bummed. But now looking back, I think like, okay, so job was stressing me out. For one, it was already causing me problems, and I hadn't even technically got the job yet. So
sure,
like by like you know, getting the letdown of not getting the job was kind of, in a way, it was a relief too.
for sure.
Um, and then it gave me time to like pursue the portrait painting that I've been working on.
hmm
And so it's kind of like, you know, I didn't really want that anyway, and now like with, as I'm getting better at the portraits, it just means the next mural I do is going to be even better, you know.
Definitely, definitely.
So I don't know, I thought that was cool. It's just like, you know, that kind of quote unquote bad experience I had with the person um, not getting the job, like definitely turned out. It's just my attitude, you know. It's
hmm
just my attitude is you know, I have to be positive about it.
For sure. Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's important to realize, consider, and not have shit stress you out in such a negative way that you just give up or something. Yeah, I think that's absolutely important. So shout out to that.
For sure. Um, you got any recent kind of things that have happened that maybe like, you know, bummed you out, but then you can look back and think, actually, that I'm glad that happened that way, you know?
Mm, no, I mean, I'm just kind of like, I don't know, maybe I've just kind of been living by that already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Yeah.
Like, if I mean, I literally can't even think of something that I'm bummed out about that
Well, that's
diverted
great.
my plans. Not yet, at least.
Right.
I mean, everything that I've set up, I've been able to pretty much knock down. And maybe that means I'm not, you know, doing enough, but I feel like I'm making some pretty big steps that are, that are, I'm on a good track right now, you know. Um,
So actually, that like stuff that I was going to bring up today is like about goal setting. We talked about last time we talked about like planning, and I
yes,
just thought,
scheduling.
yeah, scheduling, and then like I was just like goal setting. Like here, I got some notes on that. Like setting goals. The brain is a goal-seeking organism. That's what Jack Canfield says. And
Hmm.
do you remember that analogy about like the GPS in your car,
Absolutely, I love that.
where it's like, yeah, dude, I love it too. I'll say it for the listeners because so you have a goal and
Hmm.
like okay, let's say oh I want 20,000 followers, on Instagram.
Hmm.
So but I don't know how to do that. I don't know. Do I have to hire someone? Do I have to like host at certain times? Like I have no idea, right?
Right.
So, but your brain, like the subconscious, will work on it behind the scenes. And like the analogy is like when you put, you're going to the grocery store in a new town, you don't know where it is, but you put it in your GPS, and then you don't even have to think about it anymore because
Right.
once you set it, your phone is just going to be like, oh, turn left here and merge on here, and and boom, you wind up at the store because so for the analogy, like if you have a goal, you don't need to know where you take a right or what the person you talk to or any of that stuff. Just having the goal is a strong enough like GPS for your mind.
Yes. I was listening to Mitch
So
Hedberg
I'm gonna
earlier.
ask.
Want me to?
Yeah.
I was listening to Mitch Hedberg earlier, and he said something. He's like, "I'm tired of chasing my dreams. I'd rather just set them and meet up with them later," or something like that. Something to the point where
Yeah.
it was so dope. He was just like, I mean, I forget
Why
the
didn't you
exact.
take a note, man?
I was taking a
Taking
shower.
notes, bro.
I was taking a shower,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, and
Hey,
I didn't have my notes
at
next
our
to me.
house, at our house, we
Hmm.
have a waterproof pad and pencil in the shower.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah,
Um,
because yeah, you can't bring your phone in. At least not yet.
yeah, yeah. But that also made me
Um,
think. That also did make me think of something else. Just I don't know if it was randomly, sporadically, or part of the talk. But every day I realize achievable goals without previously thinking of them. For instance,
say that in a different way.
well, I'll give an example. Like
Okay.
the other day, I never thought I was going to put together my own sketchbook. But
Right.
when I was like in there getting prints made, I just realized everything was in front of me. And I'm like, hey, what would it take to put a sketchbook together? And
Mm-hmm.
they were like, oh, a couple dollars. And I'm like, all right,
Right.
well, then I'm going to do that. And then I just saw like a whole nother door opened up from something I've never even considered before.
Right.
So make small goals achievable. Make possible goals. Achieve a million small goals, and then you can see a bigger goal in the future. Like I guess my next biggest goal is my sketchbook contest. But
Okay.
and it
Yeah.
just can't. It just started out of a very very small achievable goal that I never previously saw.
Right. You just like it was in front of you. See, but you took the opportunity and see, I think a lot of people don't they don't take those opportunities like you're at the sketchbook store, something super simple, you just it pops up in your head. I think a lot of people like they're just, oh, I can't do that right now. I don't have enough money, or oh, that's a
Right.
silly idea. I better think about it more, or so it's like I think that's cool that you just were like, all right, I'm just gonna do this and see what happens.
Hmm. Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I virtually just talked to him about. I mean, it's a paper store, so I'm just like, all right, this is the paper I like. This is the paper I want. And just they were just like, oh, okay, well, here's a handful of samples, and I'm just like, yes, let's do this. I'll be back
Nice.
tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow with a cover, and then let's
Uh-huh.
talk numbers. And sure enough,
That's what's up.
I mean, just small, achievable goals. I just wanted to get prints. Got prints and came out with a fucking sketchbook, you know. Um,
That's
but
awesome. Yeah.
every page is gonna be embossed. Yeah, achievable goal. Larger achievable. And when you work hard,
I can't hear you. It's too glitchy. So on Skype, dude, I
I
can't hear you. Can you
didn't say
hear me?
anything. Yes.
You've been talking for the last like few minutes. It just sounds like on
Uh,
Skype we can turn off the camera so it's less for it to have to feed, but I don't think we can do that on here, huh?
nope.
All right. Well, it's just another roadblock. But it's all good. I mean, I got the gist of what you were saying, but I'm just trying to think of like uploading this to YouTube and making the quality good, you know?
Well, it's been very. It's been pretty smooth so far. Like I said.
Yeah, but now, yeah, I don't know. Now it's not. I can't really understand you.
Well, that's all I was. That's all I had to say.
Keep talking.
Uh, Pretty much said what I needed to. Small, achievable goals, and then celebrate when you reach a larger goal.
All
So I
right. Well,
think
thanks
that's
for
important.
reiterating, because like I didn't hear that, so that's cool. That's cool. You know, the kind of like I mean, I think that's a good principle for sure. And I think probably Jack Canfield talks about that, like making sure, yeah, like you celebrate. I think it's like, yeah, you celebrate your little goals. Like you have one of those law of attraction planners, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's not a Canfield thing. Maybe that's a I don't know who put this out, but yeah, I think let's see. Oprah Winfrey says, "The more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate." So yeah, just like yeah, the small stuff, and then making it like feel it feels good to achieve stuff. So, um, but I was actually
Say
going to go in the
say that
opposite.
again.
Which part?
Say that what the Oprah thing, because it made me think of something. Say it again.
All right, I gotta
Oh, I
find it.
remember. I remember. I remember. It's something I said last week, and that
Okay.
was um what's the fucking word? In appreciate the things you have, or you will never appreciate the things you get.
Mm-hmm. You know, I tried to do that. So
Something along those lines.
this last week, I got a job doing a logo for someone, and like it made me feel so good. Like, so I hadn't got paid yet because, the deal is I have to come through with my side, and then I get paid afterwards. But so I was like, it felt weird because so like I sent him this the logo design, and he texts me something like, "That is super badass. Like I love it." And
Mm-hmm.
just knowing the guy, like, I don't know, it was just funny, like, imagining him getting it and being, like, super stoked on it, because it was just this, like, kind of funny, kind of cheesy in a way. Um, but I just remember, like, getting that message and just really taking a moment to just be like, man, that feels so good. Like, I just stoked somebody out, and, like, my work, is quality enough that I worked for something. I basically, it turned out I got $30 an hour for this project.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I was like, like, at the time I hadn't get paid, so I was like, I'm like, I almost didn't want to celebrate, but I was like, no, just the feeling of, like, stoking somebody out and just knowing I did a good job. Like,
Right.
that was a cool feeling.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? You say that. I actually did a drawing for someone. I don't know if you've heard of him. Quill. He's a battle rapper from the UK on Don't Flop. He like hit me up.
Uh,
He hit
maybe.
me up. He hit me up when I was in LA, and he said he wanted me to do a drawing. And it just took me a while to get to it, but just the other day I like finished it. And I was like, I've obviously done better drawings, but he was
Uh-huh.
hella fucking stoked,
Yeah.
and I'm like, all right, cool. Well, as long as, the person who wanted it is stoked, then I'm stoked for it. I'm glad it turned out the way it did. But it is pretty funny. I think
Yeah.
that's that right there. It's like we kind of maybe not take for granted, but just kind of forget how
Awesome we
much
are.
how much
What
further we are in with our skill.
what'd you say last time? I'm dope.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
just
dope.
and like celebrating that and just being like I don't know, like I was on a date the other day and this girl, she said something. She's like, "What is that you're wearing or something?" Like it was like I was wearing like this scarf. She's like, "What? That's
Hmm.
ridiculous." And I was like, "Are you kidding me? I'm adorable. Like this is so sick. This is like the I'm like, you're tripping. I'm like, dude, you should be telling me how cute I am right now because this is dope. And
That's
I
so
remember
funny, dude.
thinking, like, just like, I mean, I'm not gonna let her get me down. I'm like, dude, if you're not feeling me, like, I'm feeling myself.
For sure. That's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
no,
was pretty good.
definitely. Definitely I'm dope. We can name the show
Yep,
that.
I'm dope. Well, it just makes me think of the Watsky song. Do you know listen to Watsky?
No.
Honestly, I didn't like him, and then his newest album, he has some like really good tracks on it.
Is he a
Um,
rapper? Is he a rapper?
I on rapper, yeah. He got big
Oh,
because
okay.
he like
Yeah.
can rap super fast.
Oh,
So he
okay.
was like he was like rapping over something. Uh, I don't know. I think he's like, oh, Tech Nine, like you think you can do this, and then he just like like super smooth, and but yeah, he's
Nice.
dope. But yeah,
Nice.
or no, it's not Watsky. It's a song with Watsky on it. It's the Palmer Squares. You listen to them,
No, I've never heard.
dude? They're my favorites. Palmer Squares are my
Okay.
favorite right now.
All right.
Yeah. Um,
It's so it's so funny. Every time I hear a fast rapper, I'm just like, I thought I was gonna be a fast rapper, and I just abandoned that ship a long time ago.
um,
You know.
I sent you that a while back, like that double freezing in the rain or something. We were like
Hmm.
double time. I forget the name of it, but we were like double timing on freestyling that one time.
Right.
That was
Yeah.
fun.
That was the good old
That
days.
was fun. Yeah, see the halcyon days, dude,
Right.
from the word of the week
Facts.
last time. Yeah,
Facts.
but so yeah, so hey, I want to get back to on topic, which is to me, I was thinking like goal setting this week. I thought it'd be good to talk about, and you were talking about like achieving these small goals, which is
Hmm.
actually the opposite direction of like kind of where I was gonna ask you, and I was gonna say what. Okay, so first of all, like making your goals as clear as possible. So Jack Canfield says, "How much by when."
Yes.
And I want to be there for you and hold you accountable. and ask you, like, so what are at least 3 of your goals right now?
$500,000 within 10 years. I think that's achievable.
500. Man, that's funny because last night I wrote 10 billion. Well, let me see. Actually, I was gonna say, dude, I went over my notes yesterday in my law of attraction planner, and I was amazed. Like, where is
Hold
it?
on.
Oh, okay.
Hold on one
So,
second. Hold on one
yeah,
second. Hold on one second.
yeah.
I had a heater on way too far away from my headphones. Sorry, go ahead. You went over your law of attraction planner notes?
With the goal setting in mind for this podcast, and so it says set 50 goals in all areas of your life. And
Mm-hmm.
I was rewriting, like, because I don't know, I had one, for example, like six-pack abs. I said it's going to take me 3 years to get that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I rewrote it in, and I'm like, I'll have that by January of 2019. So I basically took a year off of it, and I went back over all my notes, added new ones, and I realized this is the really cool thing, that I started this in January. I got 50 goals, and I already did 13 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, that's a
Yeah.
lot of goals, like, that I wasn't even that focused on. And it's like going back to
Right.
that GPS analogy. It's like
Analogy. Yeah.
I wasn't even focused on most of these goals, and it just happens, like, I'm looking at them, and I had, like, go back to school, for example, and
Mm-hmm.
then it just, like, I remember thinking, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, I'm like, I'm probably never gonna finish school, and then here I
Mm-hmm.
am, dude. I'm like 3 months. I only got like 3 more weeks left in my semester, and I'm crushing it.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen all my studies, and I'm definitely learning
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, all these goals, dude, like going to the gym and like eating better and just all sorts of stuff, dude. I'm just like, wow, like
Right.
13 out of 50, that's like 1/5. That's a lot. I mean, and imagine if you set your goals, like, they're gonna eventually. Oh, the one that made me think of it. What'd you say? You said 500,000 by 10 years. And
Yeah.
I wrote, I can't. Oh yeah, I said, okay. I put be a billionaire by 2030.
Yeah. Sounds about
You know,
right.
think, think big. Because it's like, what do they say? Shoot for the moon, or shoot for the stars, and you hit the moon.
Yeah.
So
Something like that.
if I don't have $1 billion by 2030, and I have 1 million, it's like, hey, I'll still be comfortable, and I'll have a nice house, and I'll be like holding down a dope ass job, and like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have stuff to make me comfortable and be able to keep doing my art.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um,
And I think that's kind of the key. So what are some of your goals? Like, give me at least three, and I want to know how much by when.
um, what you said about having completed goals ago, a couple months ago, I actually 50 have written down here somewhere, and I also marked off a much larger than I expected. And I know it was during the last hockey season, because one of them was like attend a Sharks game. I set just really easy, achievable goals, and was able to accomplish a good handful of them. So, I mean, I guess my most current goals, some of them are already started. I'll just definitely put out what I said earlier. In 1 year, I want to, have complete my contest. Um, let's see.
It
My
is
goal completed.
so difficult to hear you. I don't know what we can do about it, but
Yeah,
it's just
uh,
glitchy. I don't know. I guess maybe just take a
Yeah, I
note of
don't I
it
don't know
and
how to
just
fix
try
that.
Skype again, you know? We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah, no, I know. It just sucks when you're talking and I just literally can't hear any of it.
Uh, do about that.
It goes in and out, kind of
It's not
like.
glitching when you're talking.
Well, that's good. Well, hey, I don't know. Maybe it's just my connection, and maybe it's like recording like fine on your side.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's all coming through.
All right, cool. All right. Well, sorry. It's just like, man, it's hard to stay in a conversation when I can't even hear what's going on.
Right. So
But
I don't
yeah,
know.
sorry to cut off your flow. But yeah, tell me about your goals, dude.
Um, well, I have a handful that are a year out.
Okay.
Um, the sketchbook contest.
Right.
Um, I'm I'm hanging my biggest art show next September. So that's something I'm definitely going to celebrate. Probably do some little get together. Um, there's some goals right now. I think I need to just revisit a few of my lists because I haven't wrote or looked at goals for a while. Like I said earlier, I'm kind of setting goals every day.
Uh-huh.
Um, and
On
was.
index cards, and then having them
Mm-hmm.
like and reviewing them right before you go to bed, like go through your whole stack of goals, and also when you wake up in the morning. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty awesome because it's different. Like if I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym tomorrow, or it's like I'm reading my stack of cards, and I was like, oh, I forgot I want to get six pack abs. Okay, I'm gonna wake up an hour earlier tomorrow so I can go to the gym. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think we
Um,
should do that, dude.
I do like that. I do like that idea. I go to the art store. Like I was at the art store earlier today. Oh, I got calligraphy books. Hold on. How about I make a new goal right now since we're on the phone talking about goals? So I picked up
There you
two
go.
calligraphy books. Obviously, I've been fucking with my calligraphy pens a lot. Two
Cool.
calligraphy books. Really stoked on
And
them.
then and
That was
and
a
then
nice
what? You just like
investment.
go through and copy them, and then like, or does it have like lessons?
Well, it's more just like well, this is a calligraphy Bible, and it just shows all sorts of different fonts and like what
Mm-hmm.
tips to use.
And then you
I
can.
mean, you can copy them if you want, but
I would. That's what I'm doing with all my anatomy studies, and it's just like paying off, dude. Like you copy something and then you put it into memory.
mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, no, there's all sorts of, that's cool as shit. I'm definitely going to do something with that in life,
Yeah. Who's that remind
you
me
know?
of? Is it Mac, the
I have
graffiti
no,
artist? I think it's Mac.
oh, Revoke, no, not Revoke. Revoke does
Yeah,
similar
something
stuff.
like no. There's somebody
There's a,
who does something with Revoke though. Rays. Rays.
yes, yes, yes,
Reyes. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I was
Um,
thinking about switching my name to that for a while, but then I realized I don't know. I would have to spell it different. But
um, yeah, that's the goal is to understand letters a little bit more. I mean, I pride myself in doing letters, and I mean, just up a book that has proper, just being able to do proper holding on, like,
All right, so like
that's
I was
pretty
saying though,
inspiring.
I can't see any of that, by the way. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm downstairs. I guess it's to my modem, but so hey, as I was saying though, so you got some calligraphy books, but how much by when? That's the name of the game.
Right.
It's like, are you gonna get through a full book? Or are you gonna get like you know what I mean? Like you want to copy like one thing a day. You got to pick something that's tangible so that you can hold yourself accountable.
Right.
And I can hold you accountable too. I could ask you how it's going.
Right. Yeah, I did when I bought those earlier, I didn't really have that in mind. I was more like, when I want to work on calligraphy, then I'm just going to reference those books.
Yeah, but you just told me you're going to make a goal.
Yes, I did say that. I don't know. I don't have an answer for how much by when as far as my calligraphy goes. The only how much by when that I have is what I told you, 500,000 in 10 years.
Well, and your other stuff. You have other stuff too.
My sketchbook.
Yep.
In a
and
year.
Your
my
show.
And my show. So there's 3.
So I mean, that's good. That's cool. Hey, I'm just saying, man, part of this podcast, like, even if we didn't have a single person listen in, it was just how are we going to push ourselves and keep each other accountable, and work on these principles.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got another one.
Okay.
And here you can really help me. At least one more
Okay.
week, because I've been procrastinating for at least a week already. Next week, I want to have my certificate of authenticity typed up. At least a base template that I can work off for each piece. Because another goal that I reached is getting prints, getting an embosser, and then I guess within 2 weeks I'm going to be framing my embossed prints, and then having them ready for sale with certificates of authenticity. So
certificates of authenticity for your artwork.
Yes, for each piece is going to have it's going to come with, if you buy an original, it's going to come with a gold sealed embossed
Oh wow,
certificate
dude, that's
of authenticity.
super cool. That's super cool. Yeah, I remember I got a pair of shoes like that once, and I was like, "What?" That was kind of cool.
Yeah, when I was at the printers, I was like, I'm working on becoming everything I'm not.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I still get it to this day, and I know it's just going to be more frequent in the future. It's like when kids or artists from other countries, message me, and they're just like, how they want to get started on 3D graffiti or whatever, and they're like literally asking me how to go about the 3-dimensional process, and I'm like, I'm still learning, but I'll grab my.
You should. I remember you telling me you want to write a book someday, and that's the first book you should write. That's a good goal, dude. Like, break it down for yourself. Like, how do you do 3D? That's that's a really good goal, dude. Because I could just, because you don't even know maybe how you do it, but like if you start writing a book, like step by step, like I bet, because they say teaching is the best form of learning.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like that you said that, because it's very true. When I start explaining it, I'm like, and then maybe I'll do a letter specifically for them to look at, and then send them a picture. It does help me.
Yeah.
When I did that poster piece, that's what it said. You were like, "Are those your letters?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, someone, asked me to do a three-dimensional of their name, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna approach it a little bit differently,
Yeah, that
you
was
know?
crazy. That was a totally different style.
So it was me just kind of showing like another, like, because I mean, I've figured out what I do, and
Hmm.
and it's just so. But yeah, like I was saying, just being I mean, like, in a sense, internationally known, maybe on a
Yeah,
very small scale, but I mean, when people
still
from all over the different countries are
countries.
like,
Yeah.
hitting me up with questions about three-dimensional graffiti. I mean, I try, I try three-dimensional graffiti, and to be acknowledged for the work I put in it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Or
Absolutely.
when
That's why we're reaching for Acclaim.
or when Lucian the other day was saying, like, he's like, I'll see your art, and I like almost don't believe it's you. You know what I'm saying? He's like, is
Oh
that the
wow,
same kid?
because you together from before. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really trippy. That's really cool. Um, all right, dude. So I want you to write a book, dude. That's my goal for you. I mean, I know you have to feel it, you have to
I,
like make it meaningful and shit to you,
mm-hmm.
but like honestly, like that could be like a 3-year goal or something.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
start
like
maybe
that.
start working on that after your show in September or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, I'm learning something every single day, and I mean, yeah, I like that. I think I'm gonna get a specific notebook for notes on book. I like that idea.
Yeah, because I can
Um,
just see it being like something extra that you can offer. Like, dude, imagine someone hits you up from Japan and, it's kind of hard to talk because of the language barrier. They're asking you how to do 3D graffiti, and you're just like, oh, well, you should buy my book. Like, boom, there's a revenue stream. And also, like, you could have so many pictures and, like, arrows and little diagrams that it could actually help someone, like, who doesn't even speak the language.
hmm I like that. Oh, that was another thing that I think I messaged you, and I don't remember what you said, but New Year's resolutions. I think Tim
Oh,
Ferriss. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure Tim Ferriss
You
was like, he said, like, I give my friends a New Year's resolution, and then they give me one as well. You know what I'm saying? So that, I think right when I heard that, I was like, I'm texting Rob. I was like, give me a New Year's resolution, and I'm gonna give one to you. Um, but uh,
I'm gonna start calling you Tony every time you call me Rob.
sorry, I'm so used to it, dude.
No, I know. It's a trip, but it's my childhood nickname, so I love it. It's like for me, it's like I don't know, like I'm used to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think last time we talked too, I was just like, dude, I don't want people to think of me as a robber,
Right. No, I remember you
And
saying that.
it's stupid, but it's also just like, dude, our words are powerful, and I don't know.
For sure.
I really like what I've done with the name that I got now because it's just like it just reads rejoice, so that's like enjoyment, and it's about being fulfilled and like doing things that I enjoy, and like so. The character I was before, I wasn't really getting out of it what I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sparkle Barf just it was a lot of fun, but it just didn't really get me to where I wanted to be.
For sure. For sure.
So, hey, all it is, you calling me Ari is just a lesson in you in awareness. You just gotta be constantly on edge.
For sure. Word.
Dude, so okay, you got your goals. Let me tell you about my goals.
Yep.
Let's see. I want to do another 15 portraits by January 1st. Because so far I've done 10 portraits in I think like 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, if I did 10 in 3 months, then to push myself, I should be able to do 15 in 1.5 months.
Yeah.
So
I
what
think
is
that's
that?
achievable.
1.5 months, that's how many weeks? That's like maybe 6 or 7 weeks. So that means I have to do 2 portraits a week.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
So it just means I have to be a little bit more persistent, or I got to wake up earlier, or I got to do all my roommates or something. But so I thought that was cool because did you see my last? Did you see my last? I posted yesterday. Oh yeah, I think you liked it. The portrait I did yesterday. And it
Is
was
it
the
your
girl wearing
mom?
the beanie. No, it was
Oh.
the girl wearing the beanie. I know you saw it. You liked it on Instagram, and I was actually kind
Hmm.
of surprised you didn't make a comment like, "Dude, this is like the best thing you've ever done" or something, because maybe
When I'm flipping through Instagram, I really try to spend as little time as I can on it. It's really hard. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just like I amazed myself at
Hmm.
how well like I captured her. Like it's undoubtedly that girl. Like you know what I mean? Like so
Hmm.
it's like the mastery of like proportion is there, but then
Hmm.
also I pushed myself to do a background. And I built a brush on the fly to make her scarf. So like
Hmm.
I basically like I don't know, I saw myself getting really comfortable with the iPad, and it was just like it was an enjoyable time. I did a really I learned some stuff and I was like, "What? That's I don't know, I was stoked." So I'm thinking so that's my 10th one. If I do another 15, like it's going to be like just on point, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
All right, cuz I'm trying to do big goals right now. So I want to own a fix by June 15th of 2000. So that gives me about 7 months to put all the documents I need, like my taxes, and talk to a personal, like a loan, like not through a bank,
Hmm.
and shop. And like, I want to be able to have a house that I can have roommates in who are like down to like help work on the house and trade for rent and
Hmm.
just like make this like in a few years, like till I'm done with school, um,
Where?
like in Arcata, or I
Okay.
mean in the Humboldt area. I mean, I don't care. I mean, Arcata would be easier to rent to students, but
Sure.
like so is McKinleyville and Eureka. But basically, just like I don't know, but I'd even like it to be kind of like in somewhere like Ferndale or Lolita, like just
Hmm.
something remote and like really like idyllically like artistic, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
But anyway, so that's a big goal. I've been talking with my mom a lot about it, and she's been talking about like making that happen with me. So we've
All
already
right.
looked we've already looked at like four we've looked at four houses already. So
Okay,
I mean
nice.
yeah, it's doable and like but I don't know, I give myself like 6 months just thinking, all right, that's realistic, you know?
Hmm.
And 6 months is going to go by in a blink of an eye. Like if I keep that goal, like Jack Canfield also said, you put your biggest goal, you write it down, and you keep it in your wallet so you always have it with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I like that.
what what would that be for you? Would that be 500,000 by
500,000 in 10 years. Yeah. But
so like
I kind of was talking to Jimmy about this process and how, like, I'm doing an art show and I'm going to have four massive pieces.
mm-hmm,
And again, it doesn't necessarily mean this is how I'm going to make all that money, but
yeah,
this is like a start. Four massive pieces at $5,000 a piece. So
mm-hmm.
that's $20,000. And 20,000. I think 10 years is 200,000
If you did that every year,
if I did that every year. And I mean, might as well,
yeah,
find some spot that I can hang four big canvases.
yeah, and
And
you'll
then,
probably be able to do more than one show a year once you get going.
right. But then I was saying, that accounts for just the large canvases. I'm going to do like smaller, like $1,000 canvases, and then even $500
Yeah.
canvases. Um, So when I was running the math, I was like high on coffee and I was just so stoked. I was like
Uh,
writing all these numbers down and just like figuring it out. And then I heard something else that's like that Newt Gingrich wrote, and that was, "Are you chasing field mice or antelope?"
oh,
And
nice.
yeah, and it was pretty much like, "Are you wasting time with the small things, or are you tackling the big things that are, going to eliminate needing to do small stuff?" And when
Right.
I heard that, I was like, "Damn, $5,000 canvases are going to be way more profitable than $100 canvases." Um,
Yeah, you got to do both though, like for
no,
yourself
absolutely.
and for other people. But
Right, right. Price point is important at this stage. Price point is important. I think.
yeah, I think until you get notoriety and you're really like cranking it out and like you have shows all the time, then you got to
Right,
keep your prices lower for the
right.
homies, for people
Yeah.
like
No, absolutely, absolutely. And that was another thing. It's like when you're getting started, you have to say yes to uh, maybe not everything, but you have to say yes like a lot to get to where you want to go or where you're aiming
yeah, I
for.
mean that's why I said yes to this portrait. I mean not portrait, this
Mural.
commission.
Right.
No,
Oh, the
the
other one that you had
logo.
just mentioned.
The
Right, right.
yeah, the logo for this guy, and it was kind of like it's really not my cup of tea, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, you know, he seemed like
Hmm.
he would pay me, and he was super fired up, and I'm like, yeah, so I did it, and it ended up taking me like I told you it was like I made $30 an hour because it
Right.
was like it didn't take me very long at all, and he loved it. So that
You know,
all
that's
I
a
mean,
that's
oh, just
another
I don't
thing that I
know.
realized. Sorry, go ahead.
Just I don't know like how that would help me like as far as like if like he would tell someone else or like if I give someone him as a reference like I don't know how he specifically helps me like get more customers but it just shows when someone says like oh could you do this like I have a history now and I can say yes like confidently.
Right. Well, portfolio. Um,
And
do
and actually,
you?
really quick,
Hmm.
and I don't know, I randomly told this girl in the coffee shop yesterday, and she goes, "Oh, actually, come to think of it, I need a logo done." So I was just like,
Hmm.
because I was like, "Oh, I just got paid, I'm super stoked," and then
Right.
she's like, "Oh yeah, like, do you have a business card?" And I was just like, "Hey, like just that interaction, even if she never hits me up, it's like that's how that happens."
Yeah. I got a business card, a new one, just the other day because I needed some, and I got them from Staples for everybody who's looking for business cards. And it took me longer to get it done and exactly how I wanted. It took longer to do that than it did to have them printed and ready for me to pick up. It
Yeah, isn't
probably
that the
took
truth?
me it took me maybe like an hour. I was like, all right, this I'm stoked on. And then like I sent it off, and then I literally a half hour later got a message, your cards are ready. And I was like, you gotta
Wow.
be kidding me. Um, but I have a question. Do you ask for a down payment?
Generally I would, but I just trusted this guy because the way I met him and the way he conducted himself and like I was just like, I'm just gonna tell him my price
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just gonna tell him how it's gonna work and like you might want to know this stuff actually. You want me to tell you like all the specifics?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Um, so it was just this like basically just this guy asked me like see what I'm wearing right now. Well, I guess on YouTube people won't be able to see, but it's like I got this crown, I wear this crown, and he was like just asking me about it, and I was like, well, I'm an artist, so I got to look like one. And then
Mm-hmm.
he's oh I need to meet an artist because I got this logo idea. He just jumps right into it, and I can tell he's
Mm-hmm.
fired up. He's like, yeah, I want it like this, and this is what I do, and like I'm really excited in my company, and he's just going, 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 going. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, this guy will pay me. I could just feel it. You know what I
For
mean?
sure. For
Because
sure.
he wasn't like, well, I don't really know what I want, or like, well, what if you did this? Then I could pay this. He was just like, so he was all super fired up, and I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, yes, 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 yes. And
Right.
then I told him, and then he goes, oh, how much would it cost? And I kind of know, like, I kind of already had the bull by the horns.
Right. Right.
And so I already like had it in the bag. I wanted to say 200, but then I realized like don't
Mm-hmm.
let my ego get in the way. And so I told him
Right.
100, which really
Mm-hmm.
like I think for a logo that he's gonna like have forever for a business that's cheap. I
Right.
think
Right.
probably I think that he got a great deal. But the thing is, here's what I told him. I said the thing about the $100 is just like we talked about last week, and we'll continue to talk about. Clarity is the name of the game. Like I said, the more clear you are with me, the better it's going to turn out because. So what I do is the $100 includes 3 revisions. So I'll
Tight.
send you a logo. If you don't like the colors or like the image is too big or whatever, just tell me as much as you can. I'll
Mm-hmm.
redo it up to 3 times, and then after that, each revision would cost $25.
I like that. I like that.
So, because then that just shows it's like, hey, like I've already been working. Clearly, you can see that I care about your project and I'm putting the time in. But
Right.
my time isn't just free. You can't just like keep asking for these small changes.
Right. For sure.
So,
For sure.
I think something I learned from the mural, maybe in a roundabout way, but is that what I did for him was instead of waiting for him to give me all these specifics, I just started working on it already. I was like,
Right.
I want the job, I want the money. So what I'm gonna do is I know roughly what he wants. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna send him an email with the thing he wants. And then
Right.
it just shows he's like, even if he doesn't like it, he's like, oh, damn, this is a true artist who's really working. I'm going to feel good about paying for this?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I ended up sending him like 4 different pictures before he even responded to my first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just in my flow, just like, just making art, whatever, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then he hits me up and he's just like he like texts me a picture of his screen, and he's like, "This one's
Mm-hmm.
badass. I love it." So it just showed me like, good thing I didn't wait for him and like, "Oh, what do you
Right.
want?" or "Is this good enough?" or not start until he was like ready.
Right.
So I think
Right.
that a really good way to go is just kind of go above and beyond, and like that's what the next
Mm-hmm.
level thing's about.
Tight. Tight. Um. Cool. Yeah.
And the last thing was, so I told him $100, but then he was telling me he wanted, and I have this, like, this is the name and this is the phone number and stuff, and I realized it was an opportunity. I was like, oh, I thought you just wanted a logo done, like, so it's going to be my art. If you're talking like words and like, I mean, I'm gonna have to place them and center them, and I kind of like built it up so that it was like, so that's extra. So I ended up getting 125.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's up. I think the reason I ask for if you do down payments, because like it's interesting that you mentioned letters as well, because I ask for a minimum of 15% if it's over $300.
Okay.
I think it just kind of like keeps them like it
Accountable.
shows that like yeah, it keeps them accountable. It gets me
Well,
pretty much what I
15
need.
15% is like what?
I think, yeah, something like that. I don't remember. I don't
And
remember. I'd
it's
have to
not
look it
like
up again. But
it's not gonna break the
but
bank because if they
but if it's
really want
like
a $300 piece, then yeah, then that's fair.
right, right, and it gets me virtually what I need. If it's like they want a $5,000 painting,
Right.
give me 15%, and I'm gonna get it started. That's enough to get me off the ground and
Because like
inspired to do it. You know what I'm
supplies.
saying? Yeah,
supplies and like just yeah.
exactly. And then, I mean, I also have a price sheet, and the
Okay.
price sheet breaks everything down. It's like, time, and then it's like characters, which I mostly do in acrylic because I feel like they turn out good if I do them in acrylic. But it's letters as well, and then I specifically ask, do you want legible letters? Do you want wild style graffiti letters, or do you want 3D letters? You know, but
Right.
yeah, I think again, just being clear. I think instead of me having to sit there and think about it, I'm just like, would you like a price sheet? Here's my
Yeah.
card. My email's at the bottom. My phone number's at the bottom. All the information is in this paper right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hand them the
Make it
commission
easy
sheet.
for them.
Yeah, yeah. Because I feel like if you're going to like get a cake for like a birthday party, you just fill out some basic information, and then you hand it to the person, and then you have your cake. you know. So that's
Yeah,
pretty much
usually a lot of businesses you actually pay up front and then you just trust they're going to do it and then they do it and it's like
hmm
but like being an artist, people always kind of think artists are like notoriously flaky.
right.
So people are like, I don't know if I want to pay for something up front, but it's like if you show that you're a badass and you have the skills and you're like, look, I already have another 100 canvases finished, like clearly I can do another one for you.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, especially just like at art shows when someone asks about something, like for instance, I had like my Smurfette hanging, and this dude was like, "I really like that Smurfette. I want to get it for my daughter." And I'm like, "All right, that's an option, or I can do a commission piece for you. So it can be
Mm-hmm.
your daughter's name, and then like a bunch of Smurfs or Smurfettes or whatever you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my price list. Here's my commission. Here's my card." You know?
Yep.
And then they can be like, all right, well, let's see, or they can tell me their budget, and then I'll tell them what I can do for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's helpful. I think that definitely is giving a clear um, uh, communication on getting what they want, what they're looking for. And
So,
what I have hanging right now is like characters, letters, and characters with letters.
mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I can do stuff that looks like melting ice cube. I can do stuff that looks like Naruto, or I can do crazy letters. I can do
Right.
them very simple that look like it was printed out of a typewriter or a machine or whatever, or I can do them without 3D, super crazy wild style, or I can do super 3D.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely brings conversation.
So that's a cool thing you did. Like that's another goal that you've met is the having a price list. That's
Mm-hmm.
cool. Yeah, I
Yep.
never thought of it that way. I mean, I guess, or on the other side of that, I have, and I just never realized it even was a thing or if it mattered because basically, um, yeah, like when I go to festivals, it's like, the prices, stuff gets dusty, it gets knocked off, people move them, like,
Mm-hmm.
like, or like, my back's out and like someone doesn't know which names are which. So
Mm-hmm.
having like a master price list has always just been like a no-brainer for me. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
yep, this is every single painting. And then when someone comes to look at it, oh, I forget what that piece is called. I don't know. I didn't have time to hang the prices, and then
Right.
boom, and then I just look at my price sheet.
Right. And that's another thing that was just like I didn't realize I was doing when I made the price list, but it definitely put a price on everything. Things that were done all of a sudden had a legitimate price because I made this price list.
Uh huh.
So yeah, an unforeseen positive thing that accumulated.
So you're saying like you weren't even really ready to price some of the stuff, but you're like, I have to because I just making
Well,
this price list.
well, it was more like people were asking for commissions, and I
Okay.
wanted to give like a consistent, this is what it's going to cost. And then like something like, is there any piece that you can see in the background? Something like that drawing right there.
I can't I can't see
Well,
it, but
yeah, I mean,
regardless,
any,
it's a framed piece. Yeah.
it's a
Okay.
framed piece ready for sale that I never had a price on. I would
Right.
just think of something. But now that I have my price list, I can be like, all right, that's $70.
And
You
that
know?
that fits in line because canvases are this price, and then drawings are this price, and this
Exactly.
one's framed.
And all
So it
that's
just makes
broken
it
down.
easy for
All
people
that's broken down. I give the
and
option.
yourself.
I give the option of like, do you want it on black paper? Do you want it
Hmm.
with gold leaf?
Right.
So um, yeah, the unforeseen positive thing was everything else had prices after that.
Cool.
So
So we want to be master artists, right?
yes,
And actually, no, we want to be masters at life.
yeah, that one sounds better.
Yeah. So like a master at art is like what how shading and how lighting works and color and stuff. But a master at life, about shading and color, and also like which gallery to hang it in and how to price it and who to talk to. And so like making it more about like where you buy your supplies, what type of supplies you're using. So not a master artist, you're a master at life, and you do
Hmm.
art. So
Right.
that was a note I made. I thought that was cool because I mean we're both working really really hard at being at art, and like
Hmm.
that's like a focal point for us. But I think
Hmm.
like remembering that you don't just have to work on art in order to be doing art, so to speak. Like
Hmm.
like tomorrow I'm gonna go out to Lolita, and I mean it's my favorite place. It's majestic.
Hmm.
It's just it's absolutely, I don't know. There's just something about the lighting out there that just
Hmm.
makes me like feel a certain way. It's
Sure.
weird. It's but
Sure.
so like going out there tomorrow, like even if I don't get to paint, um, I probably won't. I'm going out with a girl, so it's like I probably won't get to paint. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna study
Hmm.
and take notes of just the way the lighting is, and like what, and then discover what is it about Lolita that drives me crazy.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I think that's like being a master at life is just like
Hmm.
appreciating all the different times, and then you reapply that back into your art.
For sure. I mean, it's funny. It's funny that you say, first you asked if we wanted to be a master at art, and then you cleared it up and said at life. It just made me think like maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I was wondering what good like art supplies that I didn't have were. I mean, I have a plethora of great art supplies, but I was like researching. I'm like, I want more great supplies.
Hmm.
Um, but I came to realize that I have everything that I need.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a step to just like, I mean, what was 10,000 hours was like 5 years or 10 years or
It
something.
was it was something like 3
Maybe
hours a
it's
day for 10 years.
something like that. But either way, it's like if I've not surpassed that time, I have almost reached that time. So I am almost mastering what I've figured out. And to solidify that is looking up great artists and realizing that I've been using the same tools as them
Uh-huh.
for a number of years. So I'm not necessarily calling myself like a master at what I do, but I know I'm getting closer.
I mean, the truth is like true masters are just like perpetual students.
Oh yeah, definitely. I
So,
mean,
I mean, honestly, like we're never gonna really feel like we're like there because there's always the next step to work on. And that's why
right,
I
and
like the
there's
idea of the next level because it's like check it
always
out.
better. Mm-hmm.
Like like I don't know, I like the idea for our logo to be this like staircase and then at the
Mm-hmm.
top of the stairs there's a ladder or the opposite, like a ladder propped up like someone climbed up it and then now they're on a set of stairs and it's like okay, you just got up one level, but now you're on the next level, but you're already looking at the next level. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I like the next level because it's like we're already thinking past the next level. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
so like basically even a set of stairs, if you think, let's just say like you're going up just like 4 steps or something. It's like you
Mm-hmm.
don't just go up one step and then you're like, okay, I'm there. It's like you have to go up 4 steps. So
Mm-hmm.
I think most of the stuff we do is like that. Like it's not like, oh, I need to get this new art supply and use it. It's like I need to get it, use it, buy a book, watch some tutorials, use it a bunch more, put it
Mm-hmm.
down, and then get back to it. And then that's like 4 steps, you know?
Right. Yeah, I like that. I like that analogy.
So, um,
Hmm. Cool, cool. Yeah,
let's see
pretty
what else.
solid.
So,
Pretty solid.
what else? What else? So, yeah, I was saying like be masters of life, and this book that I mean, it's not like it's not the type of book you just read through. It's the type of book that you like reference and just maybe read a chapter here and there and kind of, but it has so much information in it that it's ridiculous. Like, but it's called Gene Keys, and
Okay.
what it was saying was that when you master one area of your life, you inadvertently master them all.
Interesting.
And so it's funny because it's kind of like we have these two ideas now. Like, so I don't know. I like the idea that if you master your art, then you know people like you. Maybe you don't have to have pricing figured out, and you don't have to like know all this other stuff because actually people are just gonna come like what's happening to you right now from all over the world and just be like, dude, I need to get a piece. And so all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden, it's like now because you mastered your art, now all of a sudden you're making friends and you're making money and you have opportunities to go like fly across the world. So I don't know. I like that idea of just like, like the 10,000 hour rule. Like
Mm-hmm.
once you're a master at something, like you're on a world class level.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then doors will just start opening up for you.
And it's funny because it's like, what is it? Slow is steady, steady is fast.
Wow, wait, I need to
Like,
write that down. Slow
slow
is
is
steady.
steady is fast.
Slow
And
is
it's,
steady, steady is fast.
yeah,
Damn, I need
it's
to
like,
redo my chest tattoo.
it's uh, it feels that way because it's like, I started off slow. I still have my early sketchbooks that are just like clearly like I'm nothing. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Dude, I want to see
and then
those.
it, and then it's, you know, uh,
I can't see it though on the
for
screen.
sure, yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, it first started out just like one kid like 5 years ago hit me up asking
Mm-hmm.
about how I do what I do, and I was just like even more baffled, and it's just slowly grown to like I have like people in fuck, dude, several different countries. Not just the States. And I think that's what's interesting about what I do, because like I'm one of the, I guess, 3D artists, and
Uh-huh.
it's 3D is not necessarily like the most popular thing in the States.
Right.
A good number of well-known 3D artists are overseas.
Yeah,
And so,
I always thought, yeah, it was an overseas thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Because in the States, it's like the classic hip hop funk letters.
Yeah, like Knack 1, Scene. But then again, like Revoke has kind of even pushed those levels, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, the 3D guys are like, I mean, there's a few, but I think we're just like, we're connected on a different level, you know? And there's a lot of, you know, I mean, cats in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
uh, or in Germany, you know? Um, where I mean we talk we talk, you know what I'm saying? I'm actually talking to a couple different 3D artists about making a 3D graffiti book that's just like their mediums and how they, you know, not like a breakdown book like you were talking about for me, but more just like here's like, you know,
Just, yeah, styles.
12, yes, like a 3D styles book. um, so yeah, here's where I am so far. I mean, I know you can't really see it that well, but
I can kind of see it. I can see that a lot better than everything else you did. Nice.
really kind of simple right
Oh,
now.
weird.
No,
I didn't realize the screen was reversed.
yeah. When I do the portrait mode or whatever, the selfies mode or front, I don't even know. But yeah, everything turns. It's funny because when I'm drawing, it looks like I'm left-handed.
Uh-huh.
I'm not left-handed, but whatever. It's cool to see.
All right, so
So
what else
yeah.
I got? I got some more notes.
Hmm.
I just had thought about this idea. Like, so to the student, there's an infinite choices, and for the master, there's only one.
Elaborate.
Um, well, like when you're starting out at something, you're just like drawing or something. Let's just say, since I do anatomy now, like I'm like, all right, I don't know, like I'm gonna work on the pelvis, and then like, oh, I need to like figure out this arm over here, and then like, well, now the neck looks funky. Like, what is this sternocleidomastoid muscle? And then like, so I'm thinking about like every single different aspect of how anatomy fits together, like from the bones to the skin. Whereas like the master is just like focused on their line, and they know all of the learn right now and all at a time. Like I'm drawing this because that's where the muscle goes, and I'm drawing this because that's how the knee creases, and they don't have to think about every single thing and make a choice. They just know the answer.
that's that's awesome. You say that because I feel like I've slowly come to that realization with my art. I know my art so motherfucking well that it's just like at this point it's like this corner to this corner, just make it as straight as possible. um,
Yeah,
but
you just get in a flow state.
it's also made me realize how much more creative I can start being. Like that piece that we're working on together,
Yeah.
um, like one of the bars is just like it's like yet like a yellow bar. And
Uh-huh.
I'm like, technically, when I'm done outlining everything and doing what I need, that can be a school bus, you know? And I could just,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just like, I could
Yeah.
just focus on like, that's going to just be a school bus, you know, because that would make it
Hmm.
really interesting. And it wouldn't just be just like a bar, it would be like a school bus. And then,
Yeah,
like, you
just
know,
like
one of the
pop.
green lines could be yeah. One of the, you know, and instead of looking at like, all right, I have to make this bar look like this bar, it's like, no, I'm just going to focus on this bar and make it what I want it to be, a school bus. Or this green bar over here could just be like a caterpillar. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And
Or
maybe like the
cactus.
red bar, we just, right. Maybe the red bar, just keep it red or just make it extremely drippy,
Hmm.
you know? So, things that I'm
So
thinking of.
what? But why'd you bring that up? Like after what I said, just that because you don't even have to
Well,
think anymore
because
about it. It just happens.
as far as my graffiti pieces go, I don't really have to think about it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I know my style well enough where I'm probably going to do a closed-eyed study. You know what I'm saying? Or a blindfold
Nice.
study. You know,
Nice.
maybe if it's just like one letter, like what if you could do just like one letter blindfolded better every day?
Wow,
You
that's
know,
cool.
really test what you got. So yeah,
That's super cool.
so yeah,
All
so it's
right.
an interesting thought.
Let me see. Let's see. I only got a couple more notes here. I had a pretty bad night's sleep, so I'm feeling like I'm about done here. I'm tired
Hmm.
today. Um, but yeah, I was gonna ask you, what do you think as soon as you wake up in the morning?
I don't really wake up in the morning. I usually go to sleep in the morning.
Well, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean. It
No,
doesn't.
no, I know. What do I think? I mean, like I said, it's different every day. I think. I mean, fuck, dude. This, I was just like, just this morning, I was like, damn, I can't believe Sue died.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And but I mean, after that, I think about, and I
Guys,
don't
here,
want.
let me make the question more specific because what I'm getting
Hmm.
at is like how we can help each other like make some sort of positive thing that we do in the morning so that our the rest of a
Right.
day is like better. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I mean, I don't know. I have a quote, but I wanted to hear kind of if you had something you try to focus on in the morning, or if like your mornings are just like rough and you just try to wake up, or I just wondered kind of if you had any habits that were working for you.
Mm, I mean, I look and see, and I'm like, is anything ready to be framed? Is there anything ready to be taken to my job so I can hang it up? Um, if not, I mean, yeah,
So
I'd
you
say
pretty
that's
much
what I look on.
you wake up and just literally just like first thing on your mind is like how do I do the next step?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
So,
the first thing that I did today was brought because they scanned the paper that they're doing for the cover of my book, but the printer wants the piece so that they
uh-huh.
can like color match everything perfectly. So the first thing I did was
Uh-huh.
dropped off that piece, and then just kind of said what's up to everybody, and then went on my way to get some breakfast. But yeah, the first
So,
first thing it's. Mhm.
oh, just yeah, that sounds like perfectly aligned with like what the quote is. It's like if you if you're ever bored with life, if you don't get up every morning with a burning desire to do things, then you don't have goals.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean,
I'm I'm very excited about the sketchbook.
yeah.
Like when I was over there yesterday, literally feeling the paper. I'm like feeling the paper. I'm like 80-pound paper or 100-pound paper. Whereas like I don't know, I don't think most people aren't doing that.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
80-pound
right.
paper, 100-pound paper, and then
Right.
I'm like, all right, why am I gonna go under? I'm
Yeah.
like, give me what am I even thinking? Like, give me the
Yeah.
100-pound paper. I was like, is there a price difference? He's like very slight, and I'm
Right.
like, cool, it's worth it. I when I was the night before that, I was like, dang, maybe I want to put some black paper in there. And then when I was talking to my friend who's the printer, um,
Mhm.
she's like, here's some 80-pound black paper, and I was like, you know what? You've
Nice.
confirmed my thought,
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'll do 20 100 pounds, and then I'll do 5 blacks.
Yep.
And then we were talking about
Just to
covers and
push
stuff like
people.
that. So,
Just to like
hmm
push people. Yeah.
and then
Because maybe
just to
people
push people.
never
I
used it
mean,
before.
exactly. And then when I was at work, just kind of talking to my coworker, I'm like, oh, whoever buys one should be entered into a competition,
Right.
And then I was just like, so right now, what's on my mind is my sketchbook. And to even say that is incredible because I never even thought of ever in
Right.
my
That's
life was I going to put a sketchbook together.
well,
So, sorry.
I like no, I like the idea that like you wake up and you're just like ready to go. Like, and that's why I think we should both just commit to doing these index cards, 3x5, you
I
know,
like
like
that.
for studying or whatever, and then just write all of our goals down, and then every morning and every night before we go to bed, look over them. I think that that's going to be super powerful to be like how we're going to, you know, make it to the next step.
So I'm gonna go get that when we're done with this. I'm gonna run to the store and get some. But I'm also just thinking like best way to keep them connected. I think I'm gonna get one of those brass rings
Yeah.
that just has like a clip.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe I'll even get like packing tape so I can just kind of like laminate them for the most part, hole
So
punch
it'll
them.
hold up better.
Mm-hmm. And so it's just like, and then maybe, yeah, I like that. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
do
mean,
that.
make it kind of artistic too, you know, put some funk
Mm-hmm.
into it. That way it's just like it'll be more your style. And then
Highlight.
yep, cool. Well, I guess I should just go to the store now too and get those because honestly, I'm really not feeling too well, but I should probably just say what was your quote from last time about doing it now?
Work for your sleep.
Nino.
Yeah,
No,
work.
Nino. Oh, I thought there was
Yeah.
another one.
Well, yeah. The time is not the time on your clock
Okay.
virtually. The time is now or never. Um, you
So
say
yeah,
you're gonna tomorrow's gonna turn into 20 years. 20 years gonna turn into 40 years, and you're still not gonna accomplish any step towards your dream. Um, that, that
uh,
was one of the main. Work for your sleep. That was the quote. Sorry.
yeah, no, work for your sleep. I know, but I thought there was a different one that was like, yeah, there was. But yeah, so cool, man. Well, let's stop there and let's both
Hmm.
just go to the store, get our cards, and then next week we can read off some of our cards, dude.
Hmm. And to use the
Sweet.
word, today was majestic here in Medford. It's been rainy and cold, and it was sunny and warm today. So
That's right,
today
dude.
was a
That's right.
majestic day.
I had a majestic morning. It was like I woke up a lot earlier than I thought I would because I didn't sleep well. But it was just the most beautiful lighting coming in, and I was thinking of like wizards and like sorcerers like being out like foraging for things like crystals and mushrooms and stuff. And then this girl texts me and she wants to go out this weekend, and I was just like, I really hope it's like this. I'm like, sure. And I'm like, I really hope it's like this when
Hmm.
we go out because it was just super majestic lighting.
I
Word of
have
the
a little
day.
interesting
All right, hey,
question.
thank.
You said
Oh,
you said
what?
wizards foraging, and it instantly made me think of Gargamel of the Smurfs. Like, what the hell is Gargamel?
Yeah,
Is he a wizard? Anyway,
I
shout out
think
to
so. I
everybody
think
that
he's
tuned
just
in.
kind of a. Yeah, dude.
Read
So
the
this is
crap.
this is reaching for
Shut up.
acclaim, which I think we're gonna work on the name because we're much more than just looking for followers and people to think we're cool. We want to help people and
Hmm.
get to the next level of our lives. So thanks for
Hmm.
tuning in. I'm Re Joyce. You can find me on Instagram R.E.Joice, and my co-host.
Hmm. Jaws
That's you,
Attack.
buddy.
J JAWSATAK on Instagram. Jaws Attack ATAK again. 47 on Facebook. Plus, we got music, but
What
this is
about
not about
what
that,
about
or
your
is
you?
it?
Yeah, what about
Hmm?
your YouTube channel? What's your YouTube channel?
At Jaws Attack on YouTube, ATAK,
There you
or
go.
SoundCloud, Jaws space ATAK1. Listen to my music. We
There you
do
go.
things. Oh, and I got a
Yeah,
battle
we do.
December 9th, San Jose. Yeah, it's going down. I got some
All right.
really incredible stuff. Sorry, that
Good
was that
luck,
was
man.
quite that was quite the
No,
shout out.
that's what we
And
got to do, you know?
rest in peace to my homie Richard. That's a real thing.
That's right. All right, bless.
All right, peace out, brother. It's good
All
talking.
right, much love. Let's get those 3x5 cards. Everybody else, do the same. Write at least 100 goals down. Use the whole pack of cards. Even if you can only afford one and you can only get 20, then use them all up. Do both sides. And we'll see you next week. And you can leave some comments for us. And yeah, we're going to get to this next level real quick.
Yeah,
All right.
buddy. All right,
Blessings, y'all. Peace out.
later.